stop settling for sad, store-bought, frozen soft pretzels? Hi, I'm Annette, micro baker in Chicago and owner of Dough My Goodness Bakery, and I'm here to help you simplify sourdough. You are about to make the best soft pretzels of your life. This is episode 1 of my sourdough soft pretzel series. Come along with me. I'm going to share with you the ingredient list and we're going to mix up the dough together. But first, I want to share a heads up with you. This recipe has a few ingredients that are not exactly pantry staples. So let me save you a mid-baked panic and give you a list of the ingredients up front so that you can make sure you have everything that you need. So I do use a blend of 3 different kinds of flours in this recipe. I use all-purpose, bread, and whole wheat flour. You might wonder why I'm using 3 different kinds of flours. And that's fair, but they each have a different function. Bread flour is going to give you more of that structure and chew because of the higher protein content. All-purpose flour is going to keep everything nice and soft. And the whole grains give it some earthiness and add some of that color. If you bake a lot, you probably already have those in your pantry. Here's some things that you might not have. Food grade lye, also known as sodium hydroxide. This might be a little scary for some of you to use because you've never used it before. This also can be scary because it's an ingredient in things like soap. Not to worry, the reason that we use it is to bring the pH of the water up when we dip the pretzels in it. And what this does is help us to achieve our results of giving the pretzels that deep mahogany color. Gives them that nice sheen on the outside, gives them that mineral flavor when you bite into them, and it also gives you that nice chewy crust when you bite into it. If you follow the instructions that I give you in this video series, it is perfectly safe to use. It forms that crust on the outside of the pretzels, but then it bakes off in the oven anyway. Next up, malted barley flour. Also called diastatic malt powder. This activates some of the enzymes in your dough, which helps with browning. Malted barley flour is part of how we get that deep brown color. Next up, pretzel salt. Can you use regular salt? Absolutely. But different salts have different sizes and different textures and different flavors. And if you want that gourmet finished taste, you're going to want the pretzel salt. Next up, we use beer. Beer is going to add a depth of flavor and some malty complexity that you just can't get from water. Any beer will work really, but I really like beer with character. The more flavorful the beer, the more flavor impact it will have on your pretzels. And last up, vinyl gloves. You're going to need these to protect your hands when you dip the pretzels in the lye bath. The food grade lye, though safe, can be a little caustic to the skin, so I highly recommend use those gloves. Let's get to mixing, shall we? This batch makes 8 soft pretzels. We're going to start first with 471 grams of beer. Tare your scale and stir in 215 grams of active, bubbly sourdough starter. This is a very dense dough, so you really want to use an active starter so that it's strong enough to leaven that really firm dough. I like to whisk these together, dissolve that starter into the beer a little bit before I add anything else. Next up, 171 grams of all-purpose flour, 635 grams of bread flour, and 51 grams of whole wheat flour. I'm also going to add 3 grams of malted barley flour, which is about a teaspoon, and 17 grams of salt. You can mix this dough by hand, but it is a very firm dough. So I recommend that if you have a mixer that can withstand really firm doughs, mix it in a mixer. If you're mixing it by hand, you should plan on doing that for about 10 minutes. In the stand mixer, do more like 6 to 8 minutes. Medium speed. We're going to mix this until it comes together and there are no more dry spots before we add our last ingredient. If your mixer is straining or it starts to smell warm, stop the mixer, finish mixing by hand. We're looking for the dough to clear the sides of the bowl and to look nice and smooth. Here's what the dough is looking like. It's pretty smooth. And it looks like that. Ready to add your butter. 60 grams of unsalted butter. Remember, we use unsalted butter as bakers because different brands of butter have different amounts of salt in it. And so we use unsalted butter and then add specific amounts of salt so that we can control how much salt there is in the recipe. This can give us dependable, repeatable results over time. When you get a batch that's really good, you want it to taste the same the next time. So once we add the butter, mix it again for another few minutes until it looks like a nice cohesive, smooth, uniform dough. Might start to look a little worse before it gets better. That's okay. That's expected. Just keep mixing until it all comes back together again. It's nice. Don't need the dough to be a full window pane here. What we're really looking for is for it to just be smooth and uniform looking. It's going to be a little tacky, but it shouldn't be sticky. I'm going to put it into a nice dough ball. I'm going to put it back into the bowl, and I'm going to cover it approximately 2 hours, depending on the temperature in your kitchen. We want it to nearly double, but not quite. If you let it double or more, your pretzels are going to end up more bready than chewy. And chewy is really more what we're going for. So we're going to let it rise, but not quite double. And we're not doing a long cold proof here. This is the same day dough. Err on the side of pulling it a little earlier rather than later. So in episode 2, we're going to talk about proofing, dividing, and shaping, which is honestly where most people go wrong. So follow along for the full series, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy baking.